Hello, welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Deana. Thank you everyone for joining us and for coming and sharing your energy and vibe with us. We're hoping that the more that we can gather here, the more energies will come to the surface. We'll be able to align our energies and get clearer readings as we go. So we have no pre-shuffles out as of yet. I did pre-shuffle, but I want the energy to show me what needs to come out. On here, let's say. Oops. There's a big chunk flipping with the leaf on the top, number 11, but I'm going to keep going. Now we have a smaller stack. We'll take these ones because there's only 3. 41 synergy. You can read that for yourself if you can read that. Number 19, delight. And 31, magic. Okay, synergy working together. Something emerging on the bottom of the deck. We're going to let the cards come out and see what wants to be talked about. One more time through here. Few more. I like the popping cards. Not everybody reads that way. Sometimes I do. Well, sometimes not. Here we go. Half the deck again. But we'll take them. 15, compassion under the deck. Those of you that know the tarot, I like to equate some of these smaller numbers to the major arcana in the tarot. 15 is the devil card, the shadow energy. So here we have 22, divine masculine, your assertive self. Then we have, oh, there's that belief card coming out with the crown chakra. I forget exactly where these need to be held for you to see them. And then this pile here looks interesting as it fell. We have universal love, number 44. Alchemy, number 8. Then we have divine feminine, dynamic, and romantic love. Very nice. What have we here? So I'm just going to move these around here for my own benefit. Bear with me as I read the energies of the cards here. So we've got both the masculine and the feminine on the board, if you will. And so the way that I have this arranged, we have 4 across and 3 up and down here in a nice little grid. So I'm looking at synergy on the top, underneath divine masculine coming underneath that, and under there, alchemy, 8. So masculine is working with others, or in also, if you're new to my videos, it's genderless. We're talking about the masculine and feminine. Even if you're talking about a partnership, there's going to be elements that you're seeing within others that pertain to the elements within yourself. So if a specific message is more specific to the other individual than yourself, then you can sort that out on your own. So masculine with alchemy as well, he's learning to mix with synergy with others, how his power comes across, how, yeah, it's something about mixing his power with pleasure here, and using his energy, his skills, his cleverness, and his objections, and an intentionality to shift the dynamic of a situation for his higher delight. Delight coming out second card on the row here. It's such a happy, sunny card. The 19 is the sun card in the Major Arcana. Followed by belief, which is also next door to divine masculine, and on the other side, crown chakra. Below belief, we have the divine feminine. So the divine feminine and masculine are angled kitty corner to each other here. So divine feminine on either side, she has alchemy on one side and dynamism coming on the other. So the masculine's learning his alchemy through synergy, which is expanding his core beliefs and his faith in universal love. Because let's keep going. On the next row, we had magic on the top. So the 31 magic card, that's another 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. So that brings us to the element of the masculine as well. So if this is a partnership or a situation within yourself, both polarities are working together, figuring out how to blend and cooperate with other components or other people, even if circumstances are coming up. It's like the ingredients getting dumped into the cake. So, I mean, like, that was random. Sometimes things just pop in when your channel is open, so that might be for somebody. But it's like, let's just keep moving. So under magic here, we're using our own magic in a way that we're recognizing how our energy exchange is influencing and expanding our own mind, our own belief structures, and then I'm feeling this expansion of belief and trust in things like telepathic or communication at a distance. I mean, I know that's what telepathy is, but I'm hearing this interaction at a distance, entangled energies. Even if these are people, like I said, or it could even be a job, a future pet. I feel like the future reaches back into the past to call us forward with our desires, our unmet desires, and our nostalgia for things that were appreciated that we no longer feel in our everyday present tense. And then we are calling forward with the understanding and awareness of what has worked and how we're working as blending and evolving and showing us to ourselves again and again, because this belief card to me always looks like a North Star, that our belief in our steadiness and our trust in something that is for us, calling us forth. We've decided to stay very clear on our intentionality, on our whatever our self-dictated straight and narrow has been. We have followed this guiding light. If something wasn't for us, letting it kind of fall to the wayside and letting that travel its own path and not getting caught up with these extra anchors weighing us down into comfort zones of little harbors along and ports along our path. I don't know if somebody nautical. So under that crown chakra with this dynamic emergence, it's like our crown, we're managing and disciplining our mind, our thoughts, our intentionality in such a way that we're harnessing any negative spirals before they get off track, before they pull us into old dramas or anything else that has ever been something that has had bearing on your pathway of ascending your energies, lifting yourself up, evolving, and releasing any old baggage, basically, right? So this dynamic under magic is using the crown now for intentionality. And so even, for instance, I had an exchange with somebody that I have more of a professional relationship recently, and this individual sometimes changes things, 1010, on me, and will throw an unexpected text my way about something that I thought we already had agreed on, and this individual is testing the boundary. And instead of getting upset and challenging, I just stated the fact, oh, I thought that this was already agreed upon. And then I complimented the picture that came with that, and I said, oh, that's a really nice thing there, and let me know what we're deciding on so that we can get this all worked out. And by the nature of me shifting it from someone who came at me with this because he's probably an individual who was understood that there was potentially some conflict to be had with that statement at 11:11, and was anticipating me to get put off my game and to come in and snatch something, right? And instead, when I stayed friendly and actually paid a compliment, this can be seen as manipulation, but manipulation is transformation, it's transmutation. So if somebody's coming at you with conflict energy, do they really enjoy conflict, or is it just something that they've been enmeshed in and entangled with for such a long time that it's compulsion? It's taken over their mental mind space. And by your clarity and your dynamic presence of mind, you can use that energy to transmute what could deteriorate and kind of drag down a situation and uplifts it, and then both parties feel good in leaving that. So the final row, we had the compassion card coming next to magic. So understanding where that person comes from can help us to remove our attachment to feeling that others are doing things to us and that we have to somehow be confrontational or obstinate or challenging to them. And instead we can face those situations proactively to meet people where they are, but not to go where they are to meet them. Does that make sense? I'm saying this a little weird. So it's understanding where they're at, but not going to their level. That's what I should have said. So under compassion, we have universal love. So understanding that everybody ultimately, they act the way that they do to self-preserve, to have firm boundaries because they may feel victimized or something else. And we're not talking about sociopaths here. So, take these as the average Joe or average Jill. So we have romantic love underneath universal love. So we had this the other day, so this may be a developing plot for somebody, but let's talk about the rows now too. So working together with others in such a way that brings delight, so focusing on what works and not what could possibly be some type of, instead of perceiving power plays, even when we do see them, we can choose to bring delight into that situation. In most situations, if somebody's swinging their fists at you, let me just interrupt my own thing right here as this image is coming forward. I watched a movie last night with my daughter, and it had Jackie Chan in it as a cook. I can't remember the name of it all of a sudden. And there were a bunch of wars kind of going on in the understory here. And then this one individual has a tragic event. Then he's running away. He ends up falling into this Shaolin temple, and he gets trained by the monks, and he has this sense of enlightenment, and all of a sudden his heart is in charge. and not his ego and his fear and his lower shadowy self. And he brings himself up, and then he has to basically face his nemesis, right? So in this story, there's a bunch of scenes where you see the soldiers who are perhaps great martial artists, and then there's some other henchmen that are, you know, the closing scene guys that are hard to kill guys. They're masters beyond. But then you see these temple monks, and even the children are at the master level. But then the masters, the senior masters, they're like doing the whole kung fu thing where they basically go and they lay flat on their back without really falling, and then they're kind of jumping around and floating. And this is my daughter's first kung fu movie. She's like, wow. And I said, oh yeah, here's kung fu for you. So the whole thing, thank you for listening to my story. So the whole thing is like that temple monk was able to, people are swinging fists right literally in their face, and they're just like, pow, they just deflect. They just stand back, they push it to the side, and they just get out of the way. Same thing in the remake of the Karate Kid with, again, Jackie Chan was in that one, and the kid's so impressed with the Miyagi character when he takes care of this gang of bullies that were running after the kid without really punching, hitting, kicking anybody. He's able to just get out of the way, and then this guy punches the other guy behind him. It's one of those really cool Jackie Chan movies, and it's like, that's kind of the dynamism I'm seeing here with synergy. It's like, if you hold yourself in a sense of delight and magic and understanding that everything that comes my way is either a blessing or a lesson, and if I walk that path in the middle of that, then I am a foot in both worlds of the light and the dark. I'm integrated within myself. I'm working with every energy that I attract my way is somehow has a seed of the light in it, no matter how dark I would take it for. And the more that we are aligned in our belief structure with the potential and possibility that we're seeing and experiencing the highest in everyone else, the more that we are able to channel or become a channel of that pure universal love and light in our own life, be that healing force, that lighthouse for others in our world, and we become a super magnet and call those blessings to us with great speed, accelerated speed, and abundance. And on this lower level, we've got alchemy, divine feminine, dynamic, and romantic love. This is someone who's perhaps feeling a restart. Something has what do I want to say? A sense of romance, that sense of blush, that sense of spring, and the quickening of the potential is bringing, perhaps it's making the feminine want to come out of introversion, out of hermitage for a while, to express her more dynamic underbelly and her wholeness to the greater world now. I'm seeing dynamic as something like the aerator on the bottom of a pond, bringing the oxygen up from the depths and bubbling up. And there's something about that too, like bringing that sludge up from the bottom. If you don't have the aerators in the water, if they're not moving, the stagnant waters become uninhabitable for life. The positive food chain in life that we equate to, movement and flow and things that we can, harvest a fish from, or that waterfowl come, you'll see things more like algae flora. It's still a flower, but do you want your garden to be full of algae, or do you want it to be full of various exciting, dynamic, multicolored, fluffy, and everything else experiences of the whole flower garden? Take that as a symbol, of course. So, all right, we're at 20 minutes, but in the pre-shuffle on the bottom of the deck, we do have intentionality again. in this deck, Eye of the Needle here, number 17, equates to the stars. So maybe a dream is coming true. I'm seeing that through the clarity and the personal self-expression, the introspection, and your clarity with your higher self and in your center, and bringing that forth, communing with the powers that be in your life, and aligning to your highest guidance, instead of the distractions that would invite us around, like, hey, I'm your past calling, you want to hang out and do this thing that you're trying to better yourself from. There are all kinds of invitations that our past will come up, and the clearer that we get on our channel, there's an initial pushing through where this seed has to push through the outer shell, and then again that seedling has to push through the dirt surface, and then later the plant bursts, like the buds on the trees literally just burst this last few days here, and so you're seeing the little leaves, and they're just these little umbrellas unfurling slowly, and it happens so fast within just a few weeks. Then there's all of a sudden there's this canopy, there's shade again. There's something about because of the amount of clarity and space that we've taken, now there's this sudden emerging, this frictional moment of choosing to either be afraid and retreat into our shell, or to not put ourselves out there, or to say, well, I'm going to continue to take this safe route and this safe route and this safe route until we have ourselves completely turned around, like you're in like the hokey pokey or something. I hope you guys love my cheesy little references. I'm just gonna keep on saying whatever comes into my mind, because I think it's fun and playful to come up with these references, because Spirit speaks to me in these playful references, because how many millions of us have done the stupid hokey pokey, and it's just like same old song and dance I'm hearing. Is it Aerosmith band in the house at 2222 there? And all of these songs you can look up on your own. I'm not going to link them all when I have song lyrics. But there's, oh, I think I have another flipped in the deck. I do. Okay, we have benefactor number 3 falling on top of 21 divine feminine, which is a 3. Generosity and grace. So that's a creative use of your energy to be, grace and generosity. This is how we help other in these situations when somebody is, for instance, like we said, this conflict energy arising. We can remain in our grace and generosity. We don't have to attend to the fight that comes knocking on our door. And if there's toxic friends or family members, don't feel false guilt and false shame for staying the course. You can treat these toxic friends and family members the same way you would advise your best friend to handle a toxic ex. So that is a cozy little card of someone finally, and that came directly over divine masculine, belief, alchemy, and divine feminine. And here we see this crowned, it looks like to me like a king and a queen, and they're little mice with perhaps wings. It looks like they're little fairy mice. They're so adorable. But mice often represent the need for extermination in our life, and the need for evacuation, the need to allow yourself to release any false resonance for those of you living with toxic people, releasing that and allowing yourself to commune with those better influences that have your best interest at heart. And it comes out with number 14, which is a 5. Drifter. Experience life as it comes. I'm seeing all of these very interesting pillars that look like waterfalls to me, but instead of being water, it's like a meditation. It's like a spirit quest. I don't know if any of you get extreme symbols and lots of images while you meditate or journey, but this looks like a journey to me, and somebody who perhaps has been letting life show them what comes next and letting themselves maybe somebody's like more of a gypsy type, like I say, but then I'm also seeing that there's this image of these pillars are so tall around them, they've been able to maybe see through the pillars and catch glimpses of the outer world, but it's like that straight and narrow path. I'm at first seeing like it seems sometimes like the bars of a cage when we're doing the right thing, when we're walking that path of highest intentionality. But staying the course is its own reward in its own way. It's the disciplined mind that shows up for themselves by going to the gym or by just not buying the ice cream or whatever your thing is. It's difficult to be on that situational, choice-driven, higher path. But it looks like you've caught glimpses of what others are doing. You're looking eagle-eye out there for what's coming in. But all of a sudden there's this bright light at the end of the tunnel calling you forth. It's the future. Suddenly, like the hand of the divine is visible. It's perceivable to your third eye, and it's calling you out of this old rivalry too is coming through, and into where you're supposed to go next. Okay, straddling worlds. Yeah, we talked about having a foot in both worlds. 52, a 7, some divine intervention. Wandering between realms. Yeah, that's reaching forward to reach out and to take the hand of the divine, to take your ancestors' hands. They're guiding you, they're leading you forward. If you've been in any type of depression or any darkness or negativity, addictive cycles, shadow energies, there's more and more delight coming through, helping your beliefs to return to a sense of innocence. A return to innocence. Isn't there a song about that? And then I'm also seeing Sky Bridge here. Possibility for union. That was right under intentionality, under the deck when we started. 47. Yeah, this is the light at the end of the tunnel for that drifter, I feel. There's these levitating rocks, and it's real precarious to continue to... I'm seeing somebody bouncing joyfully, jumping and leaping from one to the next, and it's almost like an anti-gravity, like you would, in our realm, you would be able to jump so far and gravity would pull you down, perhaps in between the security of the rock and into wherever the nethers below. But in this case, it's looking like the final two pillars and it's like the finish line where they have the two pillars and then the banner across the top and the banner across the front, and then somebody's like just doing their celebration dance and jumping and bouncing from one to the next to pass through the eye of the sun. And underneath here we have gathering around the power of community. So maybe it's time for you to get out, like I said before, out of your hermitage, or to gather people there where you're at. The power of community here is very strong, and we're seeing also the fairies with the mushroom energy. So it's definitely mushroom season in my neck of the wood too. I'm not a shroomer, but a lot of people are. I'm seeing a little, I don't know if it's a fiddlehead fern or a snail, but it's just glowing, and a moth energy. Do you see right here, where's my finger at? I can't even see. Right over here, I'll stop moving. Those little streams of light Your images may start like that when you develop your inner sight, or maybe you're perceiving that, or maybe you're working with energies and being an alchemist, or being somebody who intentionally works with energies, an energy worker here. But gathering with like-minded individuals, bringing people around you, making sacred space with others, communion and synergy here, and this dynamic interaction and sharing, and higher-minded individuals I'm hearing is part of what's calling us forward. It's what we're ready for here. So this looks amazing to me. And so whether this is a continuation of someone who's walking into a situation, a soulmate situation, or just integrating all of themselves, really working on their own inner alchemy, that I call it the hieroskamos, where you are able to recirculate all of your energies within your own self, and also exchanging between Mother Gaia, the firmament that is the soil and the dust that we are, the bones and the matter and the microcosm of ourselves, and also the cosmic universal energies and the destiny and the mystery and the magic that calls us forward into our lives. I mean, yeah, we don't feel when we're locked into earthly matters that we can fly, or that we can travel the cosmos, but the dreaming mind, the third eye, which doesn't necessarily show up here yet, the third eye knows the truth of these things from the other side of the veil. So yeah, somebody's crown is clearing, old residue is being cleared out of your mind. Am I hearing Archangel Gabriel? Is that who is in charge of the crown? I'm hearing yes, I'm not positive. All these rules that we have in the earth, if your intuition says something, that's your intuition saying what you're hearing. So have faith in the translation that's coming through. Under the deck here we have Ivory Swan Goddess, another 15, by the way. So you see her, someone in recovery, letting go of the past, understanding all that glitters isn't gold. She's cast her jewels to the side, and she's taking a moment to recover. She's got her hand across her face as though she's really been through it, and she needs this moment. So don't allow yourself to feel false guilt. If you need recovery time and space, you need to take it. And I'm also seeing someone who either has body issues, body dysmorphia, has lost a lot of weight and needs to regain a little bit of weight, or lose. I mean, because I'm taking a lot of these messages to my heart as well, and I know I'm on the need to get back to shedding some of that accumulated residue and accumulated lower vibrational energies. I feel like as much as we want to justify so many of the practices that we live our lives as on a normal basis, when we're honest and true and on that straight and narrow, the reason we have that guilt and shame arising is because we know we want to do better for ourselves, but we haven't chosen to do everything the way that we feel we should. But we can't blame ourselves for the past. We need to have compassion with others, and ultimately, and most importantly, with ourselves. We need to have this compassion for ourselves in order that we can move forward, or we will be walking both feet in the underworld because it won't be authentic. So body dysmorphia, if you don't know what this is, it's very important that you understand how beautiful you are, even if you have some some skin issues. I was seeing something in the pre-shuffle about someone with a birthmark across their face that I've met in my youth, and her face came into my mind. And the picture on the card looked like somebody with scar, and I heard a scar tissue that we wish we'd heal. I don't know the rest of it, but then doing things in such a way to draw upon the best aspects of your personality. Like if you love your eyes, accentuate your eyes. If you've got some cleavage, don't be afraid to flaunt it within respect to your sense of healthy self-pride and gaining, not gaining, that sounds like as though the external, yeah, it's like somebody wants to gain the approval of others and to in some sort of their psyche is programmed in this way, but they're learning that those things, they get more respect perhaps when the cleavage is tucked than when it's all out there, right? Somebody. And coming out here, turquoise lotus mother. Very silent energy, I want to say. Someone has really taken a moment. It's as if they went to move forward and they were like, damn. Like, like something has given somebody pause, and I think it's perhaps a feminine who's learning again about their feminine power, about their sensuality in so many ways. It's a 42, it's a 6, so that equates to the Lover's card. So there may be an opportunity for love on some level, and it definitely starts with us, right? So any Kali card before we wrap this reading up? Under the deck, we have Kamala Devi. Every time I see this, just because of the present circumstances, I always think of Kamala Harris. So somebody here may definitely have some type of tie to, like, if you think of her and this brings a certain energy to the forefront, whether it's threatening, jealousy, or if it's distrust or triggering, or the politicians, their facade and authenticity, or comparison, or beauty, or her power. She has a lot of power behind her. She's a very good speaker. She's reached a level of status that many will never reach in the public's eye. And so whatever that represents to you is a powerful additional message that you can look into yourself with. So this 25 card, I'm just going to read the little synopsis. We witness her beauty, and all struggle melts into grace upon a grateful sigh. The heart softens into her protection and radiates peace. Her presence transforms frustration into inspiration, fatigue into replenishment, and overactivity into effortless attraction. She is the golden pathway of divine manifestation and peaceful contentment. She empowers your heart to receive with the same generosity, openness, and grace that you express when you give freely and joyfully. Abundant divine blessings are upon you. So take your time to really appreciate your body, because if you're in that place of that dysmorphic belief that you aren't enough, or that your body is unacceptable as it is, or that you need to be thinner or funnier or anything else more, then you're still walking your path, and that's perfect, but you need to give yourself much more credit. And so I'm going to get you one of these super positive notes from the universe. These are so loving. even when they say something about rejection, they're still telling it to us in a positive way. So if you have a message for somebody that's harsher than you want to deliver, you can say it with grace and generosity, and you can really uplift them. You can change people's life just simply by being the voice of God in their life. There isn't a soul on this planet who doesn't crave your approval. So if you're waiting for somebody to approve of you, maybe the fastest way for you to move forward is to start by appreciating others where they're at with compassion and grace. Your treasure is at hand. So whatever you are here reading about, whatever situation is on your mind when we're going through these lessons, whatever is blooming in your life right now, you are really emerging. You're becoming more dynamic. You're lit up right now. You may not understand what's going on in their life, but you can always figure out what's going on in yours. What would love do? So reach out. Don't wait. I always practice taking my own advice, and if my advice triggers something in you, there's definitely something for you in that. All right, 44. Fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. You are enough. This situation calling you is enough. Don't be afraid that you will not have blessings if you're called forward. Take the leap with a grain of salt, and take those messages as you will. The 6 and the 12. And 6 is half of 12. So that to me talks about almost a quantum leap, and also about harmonics, balance and harmonics. The Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it in any way you want. And that is the basis of setting up your alignment for the law of attraction. It's the way that we synergize with others, the way we use our lessons, the way we use our voice and our choice. 12. Colors blind the eye. Sounds deafen the ear. Flavors numb the taste. Thoughts weaken the mind. Desires wither the heart. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. His heart is open as the sky. There's definitely something about taking this pause before diving in. I mean, yeah, it's green light energy this week again, looks like so far. This turquoise lotus mother reminds us to nurture ourselves, to ask the divine mother to nurture us, to allow these essences like Kuan Yin, those ascended masters that want to come in and nurture and help us to make those choices for our own self-care and self-benefit. Take the moment to sit back, and I don't know if you practice, is it mudras? She has her second finger and her thumb together on her right hand, and I don't know if that's abundance, but you can look that up, but it's bringing her a lot of enlightenment. But there's something about this moment of poise before you move forward. So take that message as you will. I am loving showing up here for you guys. I hope that you also love these messages coming through. Help me by sharing your energy with my vibe here, and if these messages are resonating, feel free to comment and to like or share with others. Help me to grow the channel and to get these messages out to everybody that could use them. Anybody looking to gather with like-minded individuals, I don't know about you, but when I look around on YouTube, it is difficult for me to find a super high vibrational reader. And, you know, we all have our ideas about people's healing journey, but I'd like to believe that I'm a little bit higher vibe than a select few at the minimum that you may have seen. So I do hope that you're willing to hang out more. And as a bonus, for anybody who listened to my other stuff, I've seen Return Reunion, Regrets, I'm Sorry. There's Venus energy here, and it is right around the gathering around. No, it's mindful, group think. Perhaps you need to separate from the synergy of those lower influences of group think. I'm seeing Saturn bringing in, Venus is indulgence and Saturn is discipline. So there's definitely something about committing to something, whether it's recommitting to your spiritual practice, recommitting to a health or a workout regimen, just a positive outlook, a reaffirmation to affirm yourself every morning in the mirror, and to look at yourself and instead of think, oh, I skipped a workout, or I was hungry and I ate. You know, don't shame yourself for eating. You need calories. You need that stuff. And then while you appreciate those Venusian curves, have the Saturn guts to tell yourself, don't sell yourself short, but to tell yourself the truth in the mirror every day. Thank you, body, for being healthy and well, and keeping me, it says young female, helping me to stay healthy and young and fit, and not being obsessed with things that I can't control. I need to give and take, share. There's overcompensation and inequality, win-lose situations coming up in the mind. And when we are not pursuing our blessings and our highest possible good, then we are overcompensating in another way by falling into comfort zones, addictive patterns, habitual mind groupthink situations, instead of moving forward. So if that's your issue, share those energies with others that have perhaps been where you're at. Just share in your heart and soul, unburdens your soul. Others can share with you what worked for them, and they can share for you how they see you in a positive light. Oh, okay, under regret and I'm sorry, we have opening up, revelation, and emergence. So come back out of your shell, ask for the love and abundance you need. This may be a single parent coming out of a karmic cycle, letting go of that and moving straight into a power couple situation with a past life influence. This may be characterized with a lot of Uranian energy, friendship, freedom, independence, and a lot of trust in cosmic flow and the divine spark, and spontaneity. It's a rooting energy, getting you back to what you need to believe in yourself. I'm hearing Aries, to get you started again. So take your moment and retreat back into yourself, maybe back into your garden, back to your mind, your self-expression, and your what you believe about yourself and what you tell yourself, and honor the sacred temple. Honor your voice, honor your choice, and make it in your best interest. I love you all so very much. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Thanks.